Good afternoon, Adam Weinrib here on the Baseball Insiders, joined by Cleveland icon and potential future Hall of Famer in my eyes. We will certainly talk about that. Kenny Lofton is here, and he's here on behalf of Sluggball. Kenny, before we get into it, I would love to know more about Sluggball. I'm reading that it's a 4v4 format, reigniting your passion for the game. Tell me more about Sluggball, how it came to be, and your relationship.
Again, Sluggball, they presented this. They came to me with an idea and a concept, and they were putting this thing together. And once I found out and understand what exactly Sluggball was, it was right up my alley. It wasn't about, I'm a baseball player, major league player, and understanding baseball is not just all about home runs. It's all about, putting the ball in play in different positions. And I mean, in certain areas from left, center, and right. And it's not about power. It's about bat control. And I felt like I had a lot of bat control, and seeing slug ball being brought back to the game, understanding it's not home runs. It's about controlling the bat, and which baseball should be doing that now. It's guys learn how to put the ball in play. And now you got guys who from college, high school, and maybe just the beer league guys want to go out there and put a team together and have this competitive edge. It's almost like a Top Golf, but for baseball. And you go out there and put points together, but you put your team together and you just have that camaraderie, with the guys and people. And it's that competitive nature that a lot of people who's sitting on the couch think they can do it. Where here it is, you can go out there and show it. Either you're going to be good or you're bad, but you put your money where your mouth is.
So it definitely sounds a lot like that skills challenge they're sort of testing out at the Futures game last year, where you got people hitting targets and bunting. So it's meant to sort of accentuate the skills in baseball that you were so good at that maybe you've gotten lost in the game a little bit. People selling out for power. No, they got to refocus. They got to remember how to do the little things.
Exactly. Again, it's always, I always say it's about the little guys. It's about the smaller guys that is still part of baseball, in which baseball only praises the big home run guys. But now you have an opportunity to come back and say, hey, here is the point of the game that a lot of people and not just big guys can be a part of this slug ball situation. And like I told them a while back, I might even put a team together. You never know.
I would suspect that you would be pretty fantastic at that. And I mean, speaking of, underrated skills, defensive stardom, doing the little things. I'm looking at the Hall of Fame voting this year. I see Andruw Jones growing his case. He's getting closer to election. It kind of feels like he might get in next year as the ballot clears out a little bit. Do you think he eventually gets in? And if and when he does that sort of start to change the conversation on center fielders again?
Again, so the problem with, when you look at Andruw Jones and you look at when you use the word center fielders, and it's center fielders is not about, how can I say it? Center fielders is not about guys, putting the ball in play. Center field is about home runs. And you think about it on the ballot and the home runs and the Hall of Fame, the writers only look at the home run stuff. They don't look at the other integral parts of the game that makes people very, special to the game of baseball. I think they have their niche of what they want to look at is either 3,000 hits or 500 home runs, and that is it. And that's how they make up the game of baseball. They look at it that way. So when you look at Andruw Jones and you say center fielders, I was a center fielder. So if you're going to put me in that same category, again, I'm going to get lost out because I don't hit home runs. So you got to look at, for myself, you look at Ichiro, who's not a home run hitting guy and does the other things in the game that make this game exciting. Those are the people that you should look at when you say different guys in different categories. You got to look at center fielders, leadoff type guys, or center fielders, power type guys. That's the two categories you got to put things in. But the Hall of Fame, what do we call them? The writers or whatever, they look at home runs. They get excited about home runs and nothing else.
Yeah, I'm glad you said this, because I was going to say, look, if Jones gets in, You outwarred him by 6, and you're one spot ahead of him in the Jaws Hall of Fame rankings. So you're the highest ranked center fielder in MLB history who isn't in. I think we need to change that. I was going to hopefully use his case and Ichiro's case makes a lot of sense too, as a runway to say, hey, you got to be there. Do you feel like the momentum is starting to turn a little bit? People are taking your side and saying, we need to look at Kenny Lofton's Hall of Fame case again. We need to figure this out and change this.
Well, you give credit to it, well, to where I was on the ballot with a lot of different guys in 2013. So you got to give the media a little bit of credit that they were trying to keep these guys on the ballot, and I just kind of got lost in the shuffle. And from that point, it was only one other opportunity that I had to people to look at my numbers and kind of vote me in or out. That was 2022 when Fred McGriff got on, and they kind of changed the format from the Veterans Committee to like the modern era, or how they changed the different eras. And then on top of that, they only picked 8 recipients they got to look at. So now that also changed. So people can say Kenny Lofton this, Kenny Lofton that, but there were only, at this point from when I got off the ballot, it was only 2022 what I had a chance to get looked at, and now 2025. So it was only 2 times that well, one time got gone, 2022, but the next opportunity for me to get looked at if they put me on that panel of 8 recipients is 2025, this year. And if I don't get on this year, I have to wait again until another 2028, then 2031. So every 3 years. So I don't know what to do. I just gotta, hopefully they compare my numbers to other people who are in the Hall of Fame and go from there.
Yeah, I have a good feeling. I hope that the case comes around again this year because I think you absolutely deserve to be looked at. You were talking about a Hall of Fame comparable. In 2007, you broke the great Rickey Henderson's postseason stolen base record. You still hold it. You're way ahead. Mookie Betts needs 18 to catch you. I checked. You got that one for a while, I think. What does it mean to you to pass Rickey of all people and hold that record now?
Again, for me, when they talk about the game, they talk about being in the playoffs and having an opportunity to get the championships. Went to 2 World Series, but out of my 17-year career, I got to the postseason 11 times. So that was a something that I put dear to my heart, that I got that opportunity to be in the playoffs. And a lot of people don't get that opportunity, and some do. And like a Mookie and Jeter and all those guys, they win a lot of championships. So for me to even get that opportunity, because they always say you got to be in it to win it. So, for me to have the opportunity to do that, and knowing Rickey Henderson, was the stolen base king, and we had the opportunity playoff wise to top that record, that was a very proud moment of mine.
Did you guys ever interact about that? Did he get on you about breaking his record, rib you a little bit?
No, because Rickey has the all-time stolen base record. So I don't care how many times you still in the playoffs, but when you get the all-time major league stolen base record, you can just walk around with your nose stuck up high all you want. And he did that for years. And rest in peace, Rickey. But he had his nose up high because he was the man. When he said he was the stolen base king of all time, he wasn't lying.
Yeah, it's true. Nobody like him, but it's great that you guys do share that little piece of history. You mentioned that you play for Cleveland, make 2 World Series there. You're in the playoffs.
One with Cleveland and one with the Giants.
Of course, yes. So sorry. 97. I completely forgot. But yes, your 95 World Series with Cleveland. You're in the World Series with the Giants. You're on the 2003 Cubs team that makes that incredible run. If you were able to go back in time, get one ring, and 2007 with Cleveland stands out to me as well. If you could give one of those teams a championship ring, does one of them stand out above the others, or just a bunch of great teammates you'd like to win any of those?
I'll say with Cleveland. Cleveland haven't won it since 1948. And I would have wanted Cleveland Indians to get a championship, and because that city deserves it. And it's been that long to have the opportunity for the key, almost like the Cubs. I was, at 2016, it was a win-win for me. Grew up in Chicago area and being a Cubs fan and playing for Cleveland for 10 years. It was a win-win. Whoever won that championship, I felt good about. So, and Chicago got it. So now it's time for Cleveland to get theirs.
I was thinking about Cleveland this week too because we're about to see an Eagles Super Bowl parade. It's going to be absurd. Those fans, do their Philly fan thing. The streets are going to be wild, but it makes me think about a city like Cleveland. What is that championship parade for a World Series winner going to look like someday? I mean, we saw the Cavs parade. We know how wild it can get. I feel like it's going to go potentially even crazier, but I'd love to know what your thoughts are on that.
I mean, my thoughts, it would go even crazy, and I would wish that the Guardians would, when they do win it all, I want to be a part of it somehow, some way. And if I can be, I'm not part of the org. I mean, I'm an ambassador, but that's about it. But hopefully, they can put the ambassador somewhere in that parade, and they will be honored to be a part of it.
What are your thoughts on the Guardians and where they stand now? Because you made the ALCS last year, retooled a little bit this year, but they've still got that same engine. They've still got Quan, they've still got J-Ram, they've still got that pitching. Do you feel like they have what it takes to get over the hump in the AL? And if not, what do they maybe need?
I don't really, I try to watch them as much as I can, but I'm not part of that, the team per se. I just do the ambassador stuff with the fans, but I don't know exactly what they need in because I'm not in it. I'm on the outside like you are looking in, and they had a great team and they had a great run, and they just they wore out their all I know they wore out their bullpen, pitching them so much. They need just starters to go. I mean, they trying to stop these starters from going so many innings, and I was accustomed to when I play, starters go 7, 8 innings, and now they don't do that anymore. And they put so much pressure on the bullpen. And that's why a team like the Dodgers are grabbing starting pitching, because that's what's the most important thing is starting pitching and giving their bullpen a break when needed. And that's the reason why the Dodgers won, and Dodgers going to continue to win because of their starting rotation and their bullpen have an opportunity to rest. So that's why it's going to be tough for teams who don't have great starting pitching to last throughout the course of the year or a long playoff series.
I was curious. I'm glad you mentioned the Dodgers because I wanted to know what you thought about their offseason and the way they're behaving too. Like, do you give them credit for going out, filling all these gaps, making signing after signing? Do you give them credit, or do you sort of blame other owners for not matching the Dodgers spending?
I mean, everybody complained about George Steinbrenner. They did it. When I was playing, George Steinbrenner bought a championship with the same type of attitude. So if you're going to talk about the Dodgers, you need to keep bringing up the Yankees times when that's what they did year after year after year with Steinbrenner. So, if people always get mad when they see another team do certain things, but other teams do it as well. But the Dodgers just doing it better than everybody else right now.
Yeah, there have certainly been comparable teams in the past, and this is just, hey, flavor of the week. People are mad at the Dodgers. I totally get it, but yeah, I think I'm with you on that one. I would love to ask as well. This I saw, and maybe it's not true, but I would love if you could confirm or deny it for me. I saw that you co-wrote a song on American Idol winner Ruben Studdard's 2006 album. Is this true? How did that happen? And I mean, if it's not true, you gotta tell me now.
It's true. I mean, I'm very good friends with Harvey Mason. He's now the Grammys president, and he and I, were friends for a long time and still friends. And I happened to be in the studio, and they were doing some stuff with Ruben, and it just kind of happened organically. And I just started doing some lines and doing things. The next thing you know, they was like, "This is nice. We're gonna put that in the album." And I didn't believe them. But it came out, and then they said, "Do you want, credit or what?" I said, "You know what? The guys who've been working on this stuff and doing it, I just want to say that, give me credit for whatever coal or whatever. I don't want nothing else, but just give me that platinum album when it comes out." And that was my biggest prize. I have a big old platinum album in my house with the Ruben album, so 2004. So I really I'm proud of that moment. So yes, it did happen.
Baseball Hall of Fame, if you're listening, you have the opportunity to induct a man who co-wrote a Ruben Studdard song. I hope you know what opportunity lies ahead of you. Kenny, thank you so much for joining me. Where can people learn more about Sluggball?
You just go on the internet, you go to sluggball.com and it's all out there, and look at my social media and you look at Sluggball social media. But again, it's on Instagram, and just go check it out and put your team together, and you might be competing against my team one day. Who knows?
Kenny Lofton, thank you so much. I hope I'm not competing against your team because I think you'd kick my ass, but I do appreciate the offer.
Well, thank you. It was fun. It was thanks for the call.